All right, so we're doing coil pots. It is the morning, it is first hour. What color slab sticks am I using? Red. We want to start with a nice thick base. These are our thicker slab sticks. And for our coil pots, we needed a nice huge giant piece of clay, right? I'm sorry, for our face mugs, we needed a nice huge giant piece of clay. For our coil pots, we're just making a little base, so you don't need a humongous piece of clay for this. Go ahead and get a smaller piece, it's fine. So I'm just gonna roll this out, just like I did for my face mug, but using the red slab sticks. There we go, easy peasy. All right, we've got our templates. Everybody's got their templates. To get started to make your base, it's kind of an awkward process. I'm gonna buy a new tool for this next year that makes this easier, but I haven't bought it yet, so y'all get the awkward version. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my face right over the middle of the banding wheel here, and here's the deal, y'all. Make sure you're using a banding wheel. Get it every single time you work on your coil pots. Do not try to just have your pot on the table and be shoving it around like that. You will end up with a completely non-symmetrical, lumpy, bumpy pot. You must be working on a banding wheel. All right, so start with your base rolled out on the banding wheel. I'm gonna put my face right over the middle. I'm gonna turn it, and I should be able to see roughly where the middle is. Don't get too hung up on it being perfect. Close enough is good enough. So that's pretty off. So there we go. Close enough is good enough. I'm going to take my template that is folded in half. I'm going to take this folded corner, I'm going to put it right where I kind of roughly found the middle. I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to mark the outside edge. See that? And what I've done here is I've marked the radius, right? If we're talking about math, this is like the radius of the circle. So I am now going to kind of pretend I'm on the wheel. I'm going to hook my elbow into my side. I'm going to hold my needle tool perfectly still. I'm not going to cut yet. I'm just going to draw. So I'm going to touch my tip of my needle tool to the clay lightly. I'm going to hold my hand perfectly still. I'm going to turn the banding wheel. And then I'm going to take my template and I'm going to test to see if that fits. Close enough is good enough. This is like maybe a 1/16 of an inch smaller than it should be. It's fine. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but like get close enough is good enough. If it's way off, smooth it out and retry. Yeah. Iris, don't go to sleep. We need you awake for this. Iris, I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here for the whole next week. You need to stay awake and capture this. Get your notes out and take notes if you need to keep awake. Head up. I don't wanna have to keep waking you up. I'm making a video. Thank you. All right, cool. All right, so now we are gonna cut it. We're gonna put our needle tool all the way in, and this time we're gonna cut it. Cool. All right. Let's talk about rolling coils. We're gonna take clay, and make sure you've got nice soft clay, y'all. Don't fight with hard, lumpy clay. What should you do if you have hard, lumpy clay that doesn't squish easy? What should you do with that clay? We're not gonna build with it. We don't need to torture ourselves like that. Somebody knows. They're just too shy to say it. What should you do with it? Right, you're gonna put it back in the bag. You're gonna spray it with water, right? And you're gonna put it back on the counter and let it sit till like the next day. That's gonna soften that clay back up for other people to use. Give it like good 15, 20 squirts. Put it on the counter, but don't try to use it because you'll just be making your life unpleasant. So I've roughly smooshed this into a rough coil. When I roll my coils, I am rolling from the base of my hand to the tip of my fingers. I'm using my whole hand, and I'm not really pushing down, I'm pulling out. So this looks like this. I'm starting from the middle, and I'm pulling my hands apart. Most of the pressure is pulling outward. If I'm pushing down, I'm not gonna get a cylindrical tube, I'm gonna get an oval tube, and it's gonna go ka-tunk, ka-tunk, ka-tunk on the table, and it's not gonna roll anymore. So this is about making it longer. So as I'm rolling, I'm just kind of watching what I'm doing. I'm gonna like give it a little bit more attention anywhere that's thick. I'm gonna leave it kind of alone, places that are thin. I just kind of wanna have an even tube. So when we were making our handles for our face mug, remember how I said like it has to be perfect, it has to be smooth, no lumps or bumps. This is just a coil for a coil pot. It does not have to be perfect. Don't stress about it, right? This has lumps, it has bumps, but it's fine, and it's thumb thickness. That is what we are shooting for. We are shooting for a coil that is about as thick as your thumb. Yeah. All right, so I've got a coil, and now I'm gonna start with my base. And for my very first coil, starting off the day, I wanna make sure I slip and score. This is a common cracking point right here at the base. So anywhere we have a common cracking point, we are gonna make sure we do a really good job slipping and scoring. So I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna slip and score. Notice how easy and fast it is on the banding wheel, yay. All right, so now it's time to add my coil to my base, but before I do that, I need to know where my coil is going to go. Every single time I add a coil, I need to check whether that coil is going out, up, or in, right? Because it's going to be changing directions as we go through our pot. So I'm gonna use my template. I'm gonna take my template, I'm gonna set it next to my pot like this. What do you think? Is it going out, up, or in? Out. It is going out. So it's going out here, up here, it's going to be going in here, and it's going to be going up here. Y'all see how that works? How it's going to be changing based on my template? All right, so I'm going to take my coil. Since I'm going out, I'm going to, if I was going straight up, I'd just put it right on there, right? But since it's going out, I'm going to put it a little bit to the outside edge. I'm going to wrap it around. I'm going to overlap my coils. I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to cut through both coils at once. And that's going to give me a nice join right there.
But don't you have to slip and score that?
No, you don't. It's kind of awesome. With coil pots, you don't have to slip and score as much as you do for other things, and I'll show you why in just a second. So I am going to smooth over that seam so you don't have like a line that you have to deal with there. All right, we're going to blend these coils. I'm going to do the inside first and then the outside. So every single time you blend coils, do the inside first, then the outside. I'm going to take my non-dominant hand, my left hand, put it on the outside, and take my thumb, and I am grabbing a third of this clay. I have made a coil that's as thick as my thumb, and I'm going to grab a third of this clay, and I am really grabbing it and smooshing a whole third of this clay down over my base. You need to be moving clay when you do this. Sometimes people will just kind of like blend it a little bit, and that's not going to work. We need to really be grabbing like a big old third hunk of clay. Everybody look and see what this looks like, so that you can pull it down and over the base like that. Let me show you what's happening here. Here's our base. We're going to put a coil on it like that. We're going to grab, we're going to kind of break it into thirds, right? We're going to grab a whole third of that clay and smoosh it down over the outside and over the inside. This smoosh is what's giving our pot structure. That's what's holding it together, is by taking clay and
do I have to
it
do
down.
the same thing every time?
Every time. We're going to be repeating this over and over. So same thing with next time we add our next coil. We're going to be taking a thumb thick coil and smooshing it down over the pot below it, over the coil below it, so that they're overlapping. We are going to take a coil that is as thick as our thumb, and once we're done smooshing it on the inside and smooshing it on the outside, it will be pinky finger thickness. Yeah? All right, so I've done the inside. It looks lumpy, bumpy, and terrible, right? So I am going to support with my hand on the outside, and I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to smooth this out. We want to make sure everything's nice and smooth and flat and beautiful. All right, so I've got it smoothed. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the outside. This is always awkward for the very first coil because there's hardly room to do it. I always tell people, like, the beginning, the first 2 or 3 coils of a coil pot, it's always kind of like a little middle school kid. They're just a little bit awkward. They've got great potential. They're going to blossom into wonderful human beings later, but right now they're just a little weird. Everybody's coil pot.
I'm just saying mine might not look as good as the others, but
I'm saying everybody's is gonna look bad right here. I always get people who are like, it looks so terrible, and it's like, don't stress. Everybody's looks terrible right now. Just keep going. Trust the process. All right, so I've smoothed it on the inside. I've smoothed it on the outside. I've got my first coil applied. It's time to add my second coil. So This is not going to be long enough. So I'm going to grab some clay. Oh, I lost a chunk. I'm going to rough squish it. I'm going to roll it out using my whole hand pulling. I'm trying to go fast for y'all. Don't roll a whole bunch of coils to start with and just leave them sit now. You will get dry coils and they won't blend properly. So roll them as you go. So roll one, apply it, roll one, apply it. Don't have like 20 coils just sitting over here in a pile drying.
I have to go get my yearbook picture at 8 o'clock. I do have a question. Where is room 151? Is it
all the way down at the end of the hall? If you go past the office, just keep on walking. Before you turn left, you'll be there. All right, so it is time to apply my next coil.
Oh, is it
Hey,
like...
Cook, I'm making a video. Can I talk to you later about this?
Sure.
Thank you. All right, it is time to apply my next coil. You do not have to slip and score. You don't have to slip and score from here on out. That's what makes coil potting so nice. This structure here, where we're blending the coils over each other, is what's gonna hold the pot together. So I'm gonna apply my next coil. What do I need to do before I attach my next coil? Yeah, I need to use my template. I need to find out which direction this coil is going. Is it going out? Is it going up? Is it going in? Oh, and in fact, I've missed a step. Before I do this, I'm gonna double check my template to my pot. I'm gonna see, is this going the right way? And if it's not, I'm just gonna make some adjustments, right? I'm gonna see, like right here, it's kind of going up and it should be going out more. I'm just gonna pinch it out so that it is following my template. There we go. And now it's time to attach my next coil. Is it going out, up, or in? Still going out, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna place my coil on the outside edge. If it's going in, you're gonna place it all the way on the inside edge. Y'all see how you can really control the curve of the pot by where you put the coils? Yeah, all right. So I'm not going to slip and score. I'm gonna take my thumb thick coil. I'm gonna put it here on the outside. I'm gonna overlap. I'm gonna cut through both at once. I'm going to have it be just the right size there. Do I blend the inside first or the outside first? Inside first, and I support with my outside hand. So support with my outside hand. How much of this coil am I blending over?
Third.
Everybody, how much of this coil am I blending over?
30.
A third. When I'm done,
third.
yeah. When I'm done blending, how thick will this coil be? Pinky finger thickness. I'm going from thumb thickness to pinky finger thickness. And then you just keep coiling and coiling. Let's talk about speed for a second. If you look at this video up here, now he is an art teacher. He has made tons and tons of coil pots before. He's done it a ton. But this video is sped up. But if you read the comments under this video, he says that this whole pot, top to bottom, beginning to end, took him 30 minutes. You can coil build really fast. Y'all are beginners. You're not going to go that fast. It's going to take you several days to make a coil pot that's this tall. But what I want to caution you against is going super slowly. I don't know why, but there's always some people when we're doing coil pots who will add this much for a 90-minute block. I'm like, it's a 90-minute block. You can add more than one coil per class period. So make sure you're moving forward on this project, but also make sure you're working carefully and following your template. It is so important to follow your template. There's always also somebody who's like, I hate this template. I'm just gonna abandon it and I'm gonna freewheel it and just kind of make it up as I go along. And their pots always look pretty bad. I'm serious. Use your template. Do not abandon the template. Every single time you add a coil, you're gonna put your template up there, and every single time you're done making a coil, you're gonna check that it's following your template. If it's not following your template 100%, that's fine, but it should be 97, you know? It really should be following the line of your template. If you just freewheel it, you're gonna end up with something lopsided, you're gonna end up with something weird and bumpy, and you're not gonna be proud of it. Does that make sense? So use your template. So I'm smoothing the inside, I'm smoothing the outside as I go along. These are gonna be a little lumpy bumpy when we are done building the whole pot. And if you look in the presentation that's in the sketching assignment, you'll be able to see some people working on them in process. and see kind of how lumpy bumpy is acceptable. You don't want it to be like completely wacky, but when we're done, I'm gonna go through a process and I'm gonna show you all how to completely smooth this out. We're gonna come in there with a bunch of different tools to kind of completely smooth and clean this surface so that we have a beautiful, clean, smooth surface for carving, because this is gonna be a carving assignment and I wanna see gorgeous, gorgeous carving. Y'all, I'm gonna be gone for the whole week next week. I will be back Friday, so I'll see you all on Friday, but I'll be gone Monday, I'll be gone Wednesday. Do not start carving. I don't think anybody, this is really more what I was saying to my Tuesday, Thursday people, because I'm not going to see them all week. But if you are magically super fast at coil potting, don't start carving till I get back. I don't think anybody's going to finish before I get back. That would be really fast. Do we have questions about coil potting? Everybody's feeling pretty good on this? Feel like you could get started? All right, cool. Thank you so much. Grab out some clay.